For activity 3, I'm going to talk about all 3 parts all at once. So, because they're sort of all done at the same time. So, the first thing to do, what we're going to do is we're going to create a mass model that you're going to use in a design review that will help you focus on further design work next week. So, this should be a very simplistic model, mostly using primitives or using things that you've already found on the web. And just do an initial design review to help you focus on what you'll really develop in your design next week. So you can see we're still doing a lot of that preparation work that you see down here. We're doing some preparation, we're doing some discovering, we're doing some definitions, we're doing some ideation, and those are all part of this week, and we're kind of validating some of our work. And next week we'll develop it further on so that you would be very close to being able to make the implementation drawings for your design. So let's take a look here. Here's an example. I've decided in mind to work on the mass model of a design improvement for transformable sleeping system. And I'm doing a terrible job with this sizing here. So let me get that a little bit better sized. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of work on the manual raising and lowering system. So now somebody can see what I'm talking about. That was one of the things, some sort of hand operation to raise and lower the bed. And so I came up with a concept and an idea, and then I went to SketchUp. I decided that SketchUp would be the best. So this is where choose which program you want to use. So I'd like to use SketchUp. If I were doing more of a general layout, I think Revit or SketchUp would be very, very good. But doing these sort of designs of this sort of mechanical stuff, SketchUp is a little bit more useful, I think, than Revit for this. So I chose SketchUp, and I looked at some of the resource files. Really, all I've given you is a tiny house trailer. And so it's just sort of to give you an idea of a size, and I could compare things. And so I've got my own file. I should really call this my own file in which to work. And I've done that. If you look over here, I've got a SketchUp file. I've called it my bed lift ratchet mechanism. And I tell you the truth, I did almost none of this on my own. I found a garage door and took the opener out of it, and I found a ratchet and I scaled it into place, and I made some primitive cylinders to identify as the pulley wheels, and I put 2 types of handles on because I don't know yet which way somebody might want to hold it. This might be kind of in the way, bang your knuckles on the bed. This might be an easier way to do it. I don't know. So let's see then. So I chose, and then I created it's a mass model. There's not much detail in this. Okay, I don't know how these wires hook in. I don't know how the things hook on to the bar yet. I don't know how this ratchet mechanism is made on top of this pulley. I don't know how these attach yet, but they're questions I've gotten. In my mind, I think it could be done, and it certainly gives me a spot to start thinking about it. And I should probably put one of these on either end, but I haven't done that yet. I've just said there's 2 pulleys here. One winds on the top, one winds on the bottom. That way they both lift when I'm going the same direction. There should be one of these on either end of the garage door opener. Here's a ceiling bracket, and probably need one on either end. It's a standard ratchet. You can just buy these. So I thought that was really cool. That's DIY. I can just buy it. And I can reach it. It's only going to go up 6 feet or so. And I can reach that tall and get on it and pull on it. And if I need to make a stool, I can do that. And it's a standard garage door. So that's sort of what we're talking about here on place your image or images on slide 8. That's what I did. Here's my slide 8. I put the image from my VMware, my SketchUp file on there, and I annotated it. I wrote some stuff down that will help me figure things out. And I could even put more. I could talk about these like I just talked about, everything that you would talk about. And then over here, I said, which of the criteria am I trying to address to make it better? I want it to be easy to use. I want it to be DIY. I want it to be transformable. And I want to minimize utility impact, so I'm making this operate by hand. So I can tie everything together clearly so that if somebody wants to know about my design and my thought process and what went into it, they can do so. And then if they want to reinvent the wheel themselves, they can, or they can just go, wow, you've really thought it out. I think I'm just going to, yeah, I like that. Go for it. All right. So that's the last part. Okay. That's the activity 3. Create a mass model of your own and do an initial design review so that we can figure out what to focus on next week. What we'll focus on are places where you still have questions. What shape is this? How big is it? What material is it? How do these pulleys hook to the standard garage shaft? How do these handles get put onto a standard ratchet, or do they need to? Is there a standard ratchet that I can use? Where would I put this ratchet when it's not in use? How do I attach these cables to these pulleys? Those are all questions that can come out from this, and you will not have to address them all next week. You will address 1 or 2 because we're still just trying to get that ideation, mass model, get the idea of a design review. I'm not actually interested that you have a fully complete, fully useful, fully developed design at this point. I want you to have something that can stoke your thought process. Okay, so there we go. That's your activity 3 for week 9. It's a customized design. It's for your own. And look, I want to go back and show I did some little mechanical thing because I'm a mechanical engineer. If yours was a cool layout, a cool grouping of furniture, a cool grouping of equipment, a really nice light sconce design, yours would look totally different, but it would have the same steps and the same feel in it. So don't think yours needs to be mechanical and have all these little widgets and all that kind of stuff. Okay? There's lots of things to do, and I will be available during lab to answer questions about, well, what about this? What about that? And I will be able to answer those, and you'll be able to email me next week. But just pick something nice and simple for this week. All right, there we go. That's your week number 9, activity 3.